All right, hello everyone. Here we are back for another guided tutorial here for the master level, and I'm going to try to hit some shots with some Thor here. I'll try to stay off the top spin slightly, just so it can be a little bit more generic. You'll see the power number on Thor's hammer will be very similar, whether it be a 7, 6, 5. 4 is still really kind of close. It's about 3 yards less. So all these clubs are going to have the same power. More so than anything, it's just kind of the amount of topspin that you can use. Another thing that you can do is you can just kind of modify your golf ball to use just a little bit more power if needed. So you can go up to a power 4 ball and kind of negate some of that, extra length difference, especially if you have, for example, a Thor 4 or Thor 5. Similarly, you might want to be using Apocalypse if you have it to a 4 or a 5, just to have just a little bit of that extra length. And carry, it actually does really significantly make this shot just a little bit easier. However, we're going to be able to do it either way. So that's why you're going to see, I'm just going to, I'm going to put it out here with a Thor, just so you guys can kind of see in kind of a secondary way to play it. If you do need to see the Apoc shot, I did already do it with an Apoc 5, so you can just check out that other guide. So here you can see an Apoc 4. As I mentioned, you could just as easily use an Apoc 4. What I would recommend would not be a katana. I would recommend kind of the opposite. So if I used a power 3 Kingmaker, you could replicate it with a Kingmaker. But what I would personally recommend would be to use a power 4 ball to give you just a little bit better chance. So here we're going to go, we're going to use the max ring number. We'll probably use a +5 since we're going over power. And as I mentioned, I will back off the top spin just slightly, just to kind of bridge the gap. And you'll see that a Thor 5 or a 6 would be able to kind of replicate this. You can also see that I kind of have the ball guide pointed just a little bit towards the right, where I originally started, 10.6 rings. So since it was already pointed to the right, I'm going to use a substantial amount of curl here for this line. And worst case scenario, what I'd like to do is just kind of roll it through the rough if I have to. So you can see that I just clipped it, but at the same time, I could have just missed it as well. Now, lengthwise, I don't really care how far it gets out there. Whether I need to do this with a sniper or a B-52, it really, it doesn't make much difference to me. However, when I clip that rough, I'm assuming that I'm going to already kind of be at sniper distance. So let's take a look here. And let's see if I can't pop this in. Kind of help this guy out here. So we are going to go sniper. Keep in mind that I might be starting at min, but I'm going to be pulling up a little bit. So since I'm pulling up, I don't use this min value. I'm going to be using more like a 30% value. So let's see if I can't get this. And you'll see that I am just going to kind of offset my guide, maybe right around here. Also keep it kind of through the hole. And 11.3-ish rings. I'm going to pull. I'm going to have to do it in one motion. You can see I'm getting a little bit tight on time. It looks like just a wee bit, either too much on the offset or just a little bit too much here on the percentage that I increased. It is going to be, a rather estimation here. So let's take a look at, 13%. It's not really going to change too much anyway. But, just watch your offset just a little bit, especially towards min club. Keep in mind that the amount of offset that you get is going to differ. So at min club, it's going to be less offset that you need as compared to max club. So it is distance related. The more carry the ball has, the more that it's affected by wind. So you do need to be considering that when you're playing. And that's one of the reasons that I don't just give you guys, a set amount that I say, offset your guide this much or offset it this much, because I have no way of knowing if you're going to be at min club, max club, what the range is, what the wind is pointed. All these things kind of actually influence how much you need to offset that guide. So as I mentioned, towards min club, it is a little bit less. So you won't need quite the offset. It'll just be kind of, maybe one grid line. And that's all you're going to need. Also keep in mind, that fairway is very hilly as well. So if you get on the wrong side of one of the mounds, that could be deflecting my ball slightly more towards the left that's one of the reasons that I kind of wanted to stay in B52 range, was to avoid kind of that having to bring in the shot like that, because you'll find bringing it in with less backspin, I would have hit less of a hill and not had to worry about landing on an upslope and potentially kicking that ball towards the left. So, that's another thing to consider, is when you get a little bit too close to the green with your land zone, is it gets a little bit more hilly with the way that it hits an upslope and could potentially deflect your ball offline. So good luck there, guys, with that hole, and I'll see you guys on 2 coming up.